Hi there, welcome to my views and news. Two news stories for you. Firstly, a very dangerous news story from Tigray. Today, the Tigray military chief made a claim in an interview around 24 hours ago. Contents of this claim are very alarming. Secondly, Eritrea yesterday countered Ethiopian justification for access to sea. Ethiopia is trying to build a narrative to be accepted regionally, internationally, to an access to sea. Eritrea tried to counter that narrative by giving a counter argument. What is Ethiopia saying? What is Eritrean counter argument? Which argument is more convincing? All that in that video. Let's start with first verse. Tadase, where the Tigray military chief gave an interview and he shared information about a development in Tigray, where they claimed that some individuals in Tigray have launched an armed struggle against current leaders of Tigray. TPLF, you can say. He said that their number could grow over time. Question is, where is this armed struggle against TPLF being launched? Yes, political struggle has been launched. Getachew has been trying to mobilize youths. Some pro-Getachew people have been seen armed as well, but they never announced the start of an armed resistance movement against TPLF, the Bretzian group. Either a armed movement has been launched, and the center of this movement, I think, would be southern Tigray, Mehoni, Mechu, Alamata, Korum, etc., Alamata, Korum, and from there, these Getachew supporters, these Getachew supporters could be trying to organize, arm themselves. Either, or where they broke this news and shared this information to use it as a justification for taking action on Gitach or other supporters in Tigray. Political dissent in Tigray is not being tolerated. Tigray opposition parties, Salse Vojene, Independence Party, etc., they have issued statements to confirming that people are being arrested, youths being arrested just because they support a different political ideology, that they are Getachew supporters. So to justify this action by Tigray security forces, I think this type of narrative is being launched. Otherwise, if really an armed movement has been launched, where they should share details. Where is this movement based? Who is leading it? Who is financing it? What are the goals of this movement? Are disgruntled Tigray youths taking up arms against TPLF, or groups backed by external players have launched an armed resistance movement? Overall, it's a dangerous development. If it is to be used by military and TPLF against political dissent, alarming. If really an armed movement has been launched, more alarming. I hope that Varade or Tigray Peace and Security Bureau will clarify. Seha is head of Tigray Peace and Security Bureau, Seha Kidano. He should tell the people of Tigray who has launched this armed resistance movement against Tigray leaders in Tigray. Secondly, was Eritrea countered Ethiopian argument about access to sea in a statement yesterday. Almost on daily basis, we're seeing statements from Ethiopian and Eritrean sides on the issue of access to sea. Imabi 48 hours ago addressed Ethiopian parliament, and he said that Ethiopia has no plan to invade Eritrea. Ethiopia only wants access to sea. It's a matter of existence for Ethiopia. Ethiopia wants access to sea through dialogue. And sea is just 30, 40 kilometers away from Ethiopia. A large population, millions of people cannot be kept without sea, while sea is just 40 kilometers away from them. So this is what he said. The Ethiopian government has been trying to build a narrative by saying that the issue of access to sea is an existential issue. It's an existential threat for Ethiopia if Ethiopia remains without access to sea. And when Ethiopia has access to sea, it means that it has full rights over a corridor, over the port which it wants access to. Otherwise, Ethiopia does have access to sea in the form of using Djibouti's ports. They were using Djibouti's ports for 3 decades. But it wants more than that. Eritrea Minister of Information yesterday countered Ethiopian argument. Yemane Gebremeskel is at the forefront of sharing information and Ethiopian government's position about Ethiopian desire to gain access to sea. He said that a hollow and false narrative is being launched that lack of sea access is an existential threat for landlocked countries. He said this narrative is hollow, it's false. This narrative is based on an assumption that other countries could put a naval blockade on a landlocked country. That is why remaining landlocked is an existential threat. And such views are detrimental to healthy bilateral relations and regional peace and stability. Indirectly, he said that regional countries have no intention of putting Ethiopia under naval blockade. So when Ethiopia says it's a threat, its existence is under threat because it does not have access to sea, it's not correct. Well, I just want to explain a little. Ethiopia never said that it is going to be put under naval blockade, that it can be put under naval blockade. When Ethiopia says that issue of access to sea is existential threat, it means that Ethiopian population is growing very rapidly. 120, 130 million people have no access to sea. Economy is not able to achieve its real potential. Population pressure rising. In order to meet the demands, the needs of the people of Ethiopia, Ethiopia should have access to sea. That will lead to economic progress and development, which people of Ethiopia need. If they don't gain access to sea, Ethiopians, and they remain dependent on other sports, they won't be able to achieve development, prosperity, and their existence will be in danger. Ethiopia is talking from an economic perspective. It never said that Eritrea, Egypt, Eritrea, Somalia, Sudan, and Djibouti, Kenya are going to impose naval blockade on Ethiopia, which is not very likely, by the way. You cannot impose naval blockade on landlocked countries. That would be a violation of international law as well. Can Djibouti implement naval blockade on Ethiopia? No. So here, I think Yemane's counter argument is not convincing. Ethiopian argument is not convincing either. Why? Because Ethiopia has been using Djibouti's ports for three decades. It managed to survive. Its economy flourished. It achieved high growth rates. Its GDP rapidly grew. So what is the problem now? That suddenly Ethiopia is saying that its existence is in danger if it does not gain access to sea. Basically, both countries are trying to build narratives for acceptance by regional and international players. Thank you for watching.